Get ready to rock your 30-minute time under tension muscle building strength workout. In this workout, I am going to be demonstrating with resistance bands as well as dumbbells. Now, feel free to have only one or the other or body weight only, depending on where you are on this journey. Now, keep in mind to pause here. No warm-up is included because at Kinetic Balance Fitness, we write personalized warm-ups for you to get the most out of your workout. So pause here. Otherwise, come with me for a muscle building strength that's going to build muscle at the end range with time under tension. We have 2 groups of 3 exercises that go through 3 times with a 60-second work interval aiming for 8 to 12 repetitions. In 4 seconds, we're going to hear the tone and we are going to go, I'm going to demonstrate first. So we're going to grab a light pair of dumbbells for a squat with a front raise and 3 pulses at the top of that front raise. So our feet are hip width apart. We go down into that squat, stand up, bring those dumbbells up in front, and we pulse. 1, 2, 3, back down. All right, nice, slow, and controlled. You're gonna come with me in 6 seconds. The next exercise after that is going to be a 45-degree angle lunge. So here we go. Feet are hip width apart. We sit our hips down like we're sitting in a chair. Chest is up tall. We bring those dumbbells up in front and we pulse at that high end. All right, and then we repeat it, and that's our full repetition. If we do not have dumbbells, feel free to grab a resistance band. We stand on the bottom of that resistance band, choke up till we have tension, and then it's the same things. We pulse at that high end, thumb pointed up towards the ceiling. Our chest is up tall, glutes are tight, belly button's in. Good posture here means ears over shoulders, over hips. What we don't want to do is find that chin pulling forward. That's going to create a shrug in those shoulders, which is going to increase tension in the upper back and neck. 4 seconds, finish strong. Beautiful work. Now, our next exercise is a 45-degree angle lunge. So our toes are pointed straight ahead. We have 45 degrees between our feet. And again, we sit into that front leg, stacking toes, knees, hips. We pulse 3 times. Here we go. Come with me. And then we push through, big squeeze on the glutes. So down, 3 pulses. We're staying on the same side through this whole work interval. All right. We want to make sure that we're stacking, that knee isn't going in, the foot isn't turning out, and that knee isn't going out wide. All right. So stack it up. It's as if there's an invisible wall and we want to keep that toe, knee, and hip in good alignment. Now, if you have resistance bands here, again, you can stand on the resistance band in 1 loop this way, choke up so that you get that tension, especially throughout that pulse, all right, or doubled over, all right, and again, we hold it down low so that that pulse, we feel that tension. That pulse is just a 1.5 inch movement, all right, that's what that pulse is. Oh, but you're gonna feel it real burn through that hip and that glute. We're gonna come down to the floor. We have a seated banded row. So our feet are hip width apart. We have a slight bend in those knees. We sit back into those hips and we pull towards those hip pockets, chest up tall, come with me. So again, those 3 pulses, all of these have that slow controlled release and then that pull back into that full range. One thing that's really important on this row is that we're not squeezing those shoulder blades together as hard as possible. We pull until those arms stop. We don't want to get a pull forward on the shoulders. If you do not have a resistance band, you can do a slightly inclined row here. So we bend over slightly and we pull this way. All right, I don't want you bent over this way because that creates a lot of pull on the lower back and can create a lot of tension. So we don't want any low back pain. 5 seconds. Big pull to the finish, if you will. Awesome job. And that's our first group of 3. We're going to go back through each of these 2 more times. So we go back to the top with that squat front raise. So now you're familiar. We now want to focus in on form, get a feel for the weight. The last 2 to 3 repetitions should be challenging without breaking form. So up in front, 3 pulses, nice and long and tall. We shouldn't have any shoulder pain when we do this movement. All right, if you have any shoulder pain, then we need to bring those dumbbells back down. We go lighter, we can go body weight. All right, really focus on squeezing those shoulders, but it should be ideally a pain-free movement. The other thing you should definitely check in with is that posture. We go down, squeeze the bum to stand up tall, belly button gently pulled in, chin tucked, head back. Your chin is going to want to pull forward here. We exhale on that lift up, and we inhale on the release back down. Nice, slow and controlled with dumbbells or with resistance bands. Feeling those shoulders work. I hear it, I feel it. We're going to that 45-degree angle lunge. You are going to be able to lift heavier weights here. So challenge your body, but also listen to it. Good form always comes first. 2 seconds. 45 degrees between those feet. Sitting down into that lunge. Big push up and squeeze. I'm going to turn to the side here for you in a minute so that you can see my chest stays up tall. I'm not sitting down like this and reaching towards that floor and that pulse. Only that leg is moving in that pulse. My core stays in that same position. My dumbbells are not reaching all the way to the ground, and that's perfectly okay here, right? Really important that we want to keep count. Aim for the same number of repetitions through each of these rounds, and then we're going to hit those same repetitions on that opposite leg in this next group. 10 seconds, guys. Embrace the burn. You're going to feel it in the side of the hip, of the side of that glute. I like to call it the side butt. It is actually the glute medius, which is a very important muscle for stabilizing our hips, all right, supporting good knee and ankle position. We have that seated banded row. I'm going to turn full to the side this round. All right, my feet are hip width apart. My chest is up tall, belly button's in. I'm pulling until my arms stop. All right, I do not have a big pinch on those shoulder blades like I'm holding a pencil. That is going to create upper back tension and tightness through the neck. I'm also not letting my shoulder roll forward. Remember those dumbbell options? You have that slight incline with those pulses, same movement there. All right, we want to keep that tall, proud chest, tuck that chin back, extend through the crown of that head. This is just good posture. The more we work good posture in our workout, the more it's going to help better our posture throughout the day. So we're strengthening all of the muscles, not just the back muscles along the outside of those armpits. 3 seconds. But all of the muscles in our posture. And you're going to feel that working through the outside of those armpits, through here, the back of the shoulders, the arms, and the front of the arms. All right, we're back to that squat front raise. One last time. Baby, we feel this work in those shoulders. Here we go. Sitting down into that squat, only going as deep as you can. That's comfortable. Making sure that we have good posture at the top end. And those pulses aren't coming from swinging. All right, we don't want that core to be moving in that pulse. All right, we're not throwing them up there. It's a controlled pulse coming straight from those shoulders. You're gonna feel it working in the core, the glutes, the abs. All right, where we don't wanna be feeling it is right through here in this upper back and neck area where we carry a lot of stress. This is a stressful enough time of year. I mean, when is it not stressful, right, guys? But we don't want to add to any pain or posture issues with our workouts. Final round, same leg on that 45-degree angle lunge. Are you ready? We're bringing it on. This workout's gonna go fast with this 2 groups of 3. So let's make it count. 45 degrees between those feet, knee coming straight over those toes. 3 controlled pulses coming from that leg. We stay long and tall through the crown of that head. When I'm looking at the floor, I'm tracking so that I'm looking like 3 to 4 feet ahead, and then about 8 feet ahead. What I don't want to do is be picking a spot up in front and lifting my head. What that does is it carries all of that weight in the upper back and neck. And again, feeds into a head forward, chin out posture that only leads to more discomfort in those areas of tightness. Breathe, guys. We're under 10 seconds. You're on the home stretch. 3 seconds. I'm gonna finish it. Yes. And we finish with that seated banded row. 1 group will already be done. So you're already on that home stretch. Told you this workout flies. And 3 rounds is a great way to build muscle. But these pulses, they're gonna get you. Nice and controlled. Shoulders down and back, chest up tall. The gentle pulling on the belly button here prevents you from arching the back too much. All right, we want to find a neutral spine. We want to make sure that those shoulders stay nice and relaxed from the front. What we want to make sure is that we're not shrugging up in that pulse, that pulse isn't coming from here. All right, the pulse is coming from that back, those lats along the outside of those armpits, releasing and pulling back. All right, nice and controlled movements, purposeful and strong. 5 seconds. And there you have it. Awesome job. 30 seconds, get a quick drink, get a breather. Your next group of 3 is coming up. Our first exercise is a kneeling banded chest press. So the band is coming around your back. Our feet are flexed so we can push back through those toes, engaging the core. We punch forward, and we punch forward, and we release and punch forward again. And then we get that release back down. And then we have the 45-degree angle lunges on the opposite leg. So again, chest up tall, chin tucked, head back. We can lean slightly back so we engage those glutes. And we're pulsing at that top end here. Finishing it. Conversely, if you so choose, you can pulse on this back end. All right, in that deepest position of that chest press. So your pick, decide where you want to go. So for example, if you're doing a chest press, so if you have dumbbells, you can come down on the floor into a declined position, hips up, and you can either pulse here at the top or you can pulse at the very bottom. The very bottom is a little bit harder. If you're working towards heavier weights, this lower end is going to help you get what's called out of the hole on the heavier weights. All right, so practice those pulses, can help you there. We're going back to that 45-degree angle lunge, opposite leg this round. Are you ready? 3 seconds. Feet 45 degrees, toes pointed straight ahead. I forgot the pulse. Here we go. Pulsing, 1, 2, 3, nice and controlled. All right, chin tucked, head back. Noticing that on this new side, it might be a little bit hard to keep your toes, knees, and hips in that nice straight line. For example, the foot might want to turn out. The knee might want to go in or the knee might want to go out. It's normal to have asymmetrical movement patterns in our body. So it's important to pay attention to that. Stretch accordingly and make sure that your warm-up reflects that asymmetry until we equal out our body. 8 seconds. So this is where that kinetic balance warm-up really comes into play. So if you already have one, awesome. Make sure you're making it count. Our final exercise for this group of 3 is a glute bridge pulse. So dumbbell to those hips, toes, knees, hips, nice straight line. We're gonna push the hips up towards the ceiling and we're gonna pulse 3 times. Slow, controlled release back down. All right. Glutes are squeezing tight. Our belly button is gently pulled in. We want to make sure that those hips aren't going too high. So this is not all about how high you can get it. We don't want to arch that low back. It is just a squeeze at that highest end. Making sure, again, those toes, knees, and hips are in that straight line. Particularly when we go back down, the knees want to kind of relax in, or when we go up, they want to pull out. Okay, so we want to make sure that we're paying attention to body alignment. It matters because what we practice in our strength training workout leads to posture and patterns outside of our workouts. We're building muscle, and that muscle is what creates our movement. So good movement patterns in our workout relay to good movement patterns, all right, in our day-to-day life. We have that kneeling banded chest press or a declined dumbbell chest press with those pulses. Here we go. Toes, knees, hips, nice straight line, pushing back through those toes. You can pulse in the front. You can pulse in the back. I'm going to stick with the bottom end pulse because that's where I feel the weakest. So I'm going to come into that release, push back into that tension, and then punch it forward. Really important here is our chest position. When we punch forward, the shoulders are going to want to pull up. I'm exaggerating so you can see, all right? But we want to keep the shoulders down and back. Can really feel that heart rate, guys. Even though we're not using, we're really focusing on the chest. You're going to feel it working the shoulders as well as the back of the arms. But we're really going to be working all of the muscles because we're pushing back through those toes, engaging that core in this position as well. Yes. 45-degree angle lunge pulses on that opposite leg. The leg we didn't do in the first group, right? So 5 seconds. I tell people all the time, I don't actually ever do just arm-related exercises. The workout videos that I do with you are directly reflective of the workouts I do day to day. I'm doing them with you. If they weren't safe, I wouldn't be doing them. And if they weren't helping you reach your goals, I wouldn't be doing them either. These are directly related to the same exercises I do, the same, very similar, right? 5 or 6 exercises to help me build muscle. You don't have to do bicep curls or tricep extensions in any way. We can make more functional movements that help us build all of our muscles. So we bring our total body into our workouts. 10 seconds, and we build functional muscle. movement patterns that we use in our daily life that support better movement. All right, recovery with those glute bridge pulses. Our glutes help stabilize our hips, knees, ankles, and our spine. So vitally important. So embrace the glute bridge. 3 pulses at that high end. Nice, slow, controlled release down. Focusing on that good alignment. Focusing on a high quality glute squeeze. Breathing, working, embracing the burn. I know I can already feel it, not just in the glutes, but in the side of my hips, especially the left hip, since that's the 45-degree angle lunge that I just did. And feel free to use these body weight only or with a mini band at those knees. Lots of options. 10 seconds. But throughout this workout, we're embracing the burn. That burn is our body telling us that we're building. We're pushing our limits. We're challenging ourselves. Challenge isn't always easy, but it's how we make that stride forward. One last round, guys. That kneeling banded chest press or in that decline chest press with those dumbbells. Here we go. Feet hip width apart, pushing back through those toes, punching forward. 3 pulses on that bottom end or the top end, wherever you feel like you're the weakest. Exhale as you punch those arms away from you. Now here, if you have any kind of shoulder pain, it's a very simple movement to close the hands. Pull those hands into what's called a neutral position. So our palms face each other, and it should reduce any kind of elbow pain or shoulder pain in this position. That's something that should be addressed though, either with your doctor, a physical therapist, or some releases and stretches to help reduce some of that muscle tightness. 5 seconds, guys. We're embracing that burn, right? Yes, there you have it. 2 exercises to the finish, to that cool down and stretch. We've made it so far. We're gonna finish strong here. Literally stronger than what we started. 45 degrees between those feet, 3 seconds. Let's hit it. Toes, knees, hips, nice straight line. Keeping that head in that neutral position. 3 to 4 feet in front of us on that bottom end. 6 to 8 at that top end. We're long and strong through the crown of the head. Every time we push up, it's a big squeeze on the glutes. And exhale. Focusing on form first. And then we add that weight. But we're building strength, building muscle, which helps build stronger bones, stronger ligaments and tendons, a higher metabolism, right? That's what helps us burn more calories at rest, 5 seconds, and longevity. Oh, goodness, that burns through those hips. But we've got one last exercise to finish, and then we've earned that cool down and stretch. We can celebrate. That glute bridge, 5 seconds, lay it down, line up those feet, and we're going to pulse. 3 times at the top, nice, slow, controlled release back down. Each pulse is purposeful and strong, all right? It's not a bounce. It is with purpose. We squeeze the glutes. Paying attention to the knees, as well as those hamstrings, the back of those thighs. 30 seconds to finish your workout. that consistency, that one thing that you do for yourself in a day, and making time for you mentally, physically, emotionally. And it's that consistency that's key here. Helping you reach your goals, helping you feel better and stronger. 5 seconds. Trust me, I don't always love to work out, but it's the reward of being done. All right, bring it up to those feet. We've got that cool down and stretch. All right, we're gonna go to the inside of those thighs. Toes pointed straight ahead. Step one foot slightly forward. We're gonna lean into that leg. Squeeze the bum, tuck those hips under so we get a nice stretch to the inside of that thigh. I just saw something today on my newsreel about a woman wanting to strengthen her inner thighs with an exercise. Please proceed with caution, okay? Certain muscles have a propensity to be overactive, all right, and tight. Just because we have a tendency to have fat along the inside of our thighs does not mean that that is a weak area. All right, once you feel that stretching calm down, go ahead and switch sides or pause there and stay a little longer until you feel that stretching sensation calm down. All right, but just because that is an area where we store fat does not mean that those muscles are weak. As a matter of fact, this is one muscle area that has a tendency to get tight, and our brain has a strong connection to it, leading to overworking. The area that's actually weak is the outside of our hips, which counterbalances that knee. And these hips are the area that we get weak and lead to poor movement patterns on our knees and hips. All right, we're gonna come down to the floor, flexing that back foot, feet hip width apart. We're just gonna squeeze the bum, tuck it under. You're gonna feel a stretch through the front of that hip, down into that thigh. Can reach up towards the ceiling and even add a slight lean over to the side, enjoying the front of that stretch. All right, important here that we're not leaning forward. We wanna stay up nice and tall. Feel free to put a pillow, blanket, mat, or pad underneath that knee. I don't want any knee pain here. And if we don't feel an increase in stretch when we go overhead, don't worry about it. Stay, keep that arm down. Go ahead and switch sides. When you feel that stretching sensation, calm down. Same thing, opposite side. Nice stretch. Oh, that feels so good. This is one area that I always feel pretty tight in. From sitting, or even if it's walking and running, this is an area, again, where we have a propensity to get tight, just whether or not we have a sedentary lifestyle or a very active lifestyle. Our hip flexors move us forward. They pull our legs, all right? So stretch them out, and they tie into our low back, which generally leads to low back pain. We're gonna come down into a child's pose, toes together, our knees wide. Reaching those hands away, we roll the shoulders down and back. Pressing that chest towards the floor, nice big deep breath in. Inhale through the nose, expand the belly, expand the ribs. Exhale. Press that chest down, stay with me even though that timer went off. Big deep breath in. Exhale. Feel free to use a raised surface for this movement if you have any kind of knee pain here. Big deep breath in. Exhale. Give yourself a pat on the back for pushing, making time for yourself. Be grateful for all of the hard work that your body is doing for you day to day. And kudos to you for showing up and completing something for you, mentally, physically, emotionally, existentially, because you're worth it. Let me know what you think. I always embrace your feedback, and I look forward to your comments, your likes, your shares, anything to keep you going and keep you motivated on your health and wellness journey. I can't wait to see you again next time.